all that. I came in at the end. Ash asked me if I would, like, post, like, right at the end before the op went down, like, if I would post information for the kids and resources and stuff, and that's all I did. I mean, I've never been anonymous. My handle was my name for how long?
Yeah.
I mean, it's never, the whole reason I even came to Twitter was during the Stevenville rape case. Because that's, like, my next door. You know what I mean? That's my community. And I went there just to see what was being said, to see what those kids were tweeting, all that stuff. I was blocked for probably 6 months and followed people I knew, and that's it. And then I got to know more and more people through all that, and I knew Ash like who he was. We'd like share a random tweet here and there, but it was never, like, we never talked off timeline.
Yeah.
Until that summer I explained today. And today was, I mean, I went through, like, it's all the time, the subtweets and stuff, and I have all of them blocked and stuff, and I mean, you have people blocked, and every fucking one of them looks at our timeline, and we look at their timelines, and it's ridiculous, because you still can. The block on Twitter is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
But it's not every day. And I'm not just saying that to say it. Like I just told you, I look at it all. I mean, how can you not when you know somebody's talking about you? That is human nature.
I don't know, because I know. But, I stopped, like, years ago when when they started calling me pedophile and stuff. I had to stop because it was causing a toll on my life. Like, because I work with youth, and you guys all know this. I work with at-risk youth, and here I am getting called a pedophile because, you know, when guys were calling into the show or when they were tweeting at me, I'd be like, oh, honey, whatever, and I would be flirty. But it was never anything overt. It was never anything dirty. And here I am getting called a pedophile, and it broke my heart because it was like Ash. Man, I had so much respect for him, and I liked him, and and then I thought it was coming from you guys.
That's the thing about him. I mean, that's the thing about him. He puts on a good public face, doesn't he?
And that's where that's why, like you mentioned this, that the block on Twitter is a joke. Kids who are trying to block people that are online bullying them, you really can't, because, like, even on my Facebook, you can't find me. When I took Bobby off my Facebook, I had to go find him through someone else because I'm so protected. Like, Facebook is really good with their privacy. Twitter, however, not so much, right? So you can have, like, I think YoCali at one point had, like, something like 200 socks. I think Viz had 150 easily. I don't even know how he kept making them all. And that was all good fun, right? But if you're a 13-year-old girl trying to cause harm and to hurt somebody, it's not in fun.
Well, I agree. That was kind of the whole thing with the op. Like, the op, I believe it was Ash, Keelan, and Seraphim, and maybe some others. I know AK was involved with the beginning of the op. I mean, I saw it all, but I wasn't a part of it. But that's how it started out. But then it turned into an evil, like, ego-driven nightmare.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, and I think that's how
all the shit with us didn't start till the op was down. Like, all the shit with us didn't start. Like, the New York Times article came out, and then, of course, I mean, Ash was afraid of being doxxed when that happened, because he hadn't been doxxed yet, or was it, like, when they first, like, interviewed with the New York Times, but they figured it was going to happen, or they were going to try to do it, and the first doc that came out on him, I believe, was not really a good one. Like, it didn't really have much, and it didn't even have his name correct. Like, his first name was right, but nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, it turned into, I mean, what Anonymous, I mean, I'm not talking about the OGs that are still fighting the fight. I'm talking about this new group that has, it's what it's turned into. It was just an ego, look at me, look what I can do, and that's not what it was ever supposed to be about as far as I've ever known.
No. And the funny thing about...
The New York Times article, I don't want to put that down because it was a good article. The op was good. It was for kids. It took care of kids. But...
It's the adults that were
now, in hindsight, that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking... you're a fucking fraud.
Yeah.
Like, every fucking thing you said in that, you're a fucking fraud.
Yeah.
You go on Blog Talk Radio and go on for hours it was on Porn Puppy, for hours about how disgusting Hunter Moore is and how he's just pawn scum. But my boyfriend calls your girlfriend a whore on Timeline, and that's good enough reason for you to drop my fucking news, dude. Yeah, you're fucking awesome.
It was more than that, though, because he involved your child.
Oh, yeah, well, that's where it began. And that's just where, when I got to see the real Ash, not the Ash she was presenting to me, which is easy to do when someone's in England and you're in the United States.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy to make me think you're one way when you're completely another. And, I mean, I know his ex, the one I spoke about today. I know things about him that I wish I never did.
Yeah.
Because, just ew. Or maybe I wish I had known.
Well, we all have.
But anyways, the whole thing today, back to that whole blog thing, the whole thing today is that I don't go to their timeline daily. Usually, like, this whole episode today and yesterday began because, all that stuff with the flag was going on and Bobby was trolling and we were just fucking around and...
Yeah, but that's the difference, though. Like, you, me, Bobby, there are times where we can just troll. Like, somebody will say something stupid, and we'll troll the hell out of them and have a good time, and we bring it back to having fun. But
personal attack.
No, but these were personal attacks. Like, even, and I think what people need to understand and don't know about the Occupy movement is that was brought down over Twitter. The Occupy New York was brought down over Twitter because some girl accused Viz Faucheux of raping her, when in reality that was a complete lie, and he proved that that was a lie. But in the meantime, it brought down Occupy because everybody lost faith in each other, right? And it's like we're living in this really amazing time.
That's exactly what happened with the anti-bully.
Yeah, we're living in this amazing time where
I came in. People left there last day. 420 was in at the time. He left. I came in. Because Ash asked me to, but it was like I was like automatically their enemy at that point, which I didn't even really know them.
Yeah.
Sarah I knew, but not Keelan or 420. I didn't know him at all, but I had nothing to say about her. All I knew was what he was telling me, which obviously wasn't nice because they were in a battle.
Yeah.
But it was like a control thing. Like, I have control of this, and you have control of this, and I want my control back. And that was kind of the beginning of the end for it. Now, at the end, it kind of came back up, and he got a lot more followers, a lot more was going on. The article came out, everything was going good, but then that old bullshit drama between the founders started up again, and then it was done.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, so, like, 2 days ago, somebody had DM'd me and was laughing about the troll on the whole stomping the flag, the Shepherd Challenge or whatever.
Yeah, the Shepherd Challenge.
And we were just talking back and forth about that, and they're like, yeah, people that don't even live here are even talking about it. I think Pre even commented on it, so naturally.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like,
I saw nothing about that challenge, but then I see subtweets and
yeah, but do you think that
immature shit? Like, oh yeah,
Sam,
you're a nurse. I would hardly call saving lives.
Sam,
I'm like,
Sam.
Like,
do you think that if you just ignored it completely, it would go away?
No, I did. I left for a year. I left for a fucking year. Bobby,
I remember that. I missed you.
It never went away.
Yeah. See, and that's like we're living in this really phenomenal era where technology has the power to bring together. Like, I have friends in Germany, I have friends in Australia that tune into the show, I have friends in frickin' Jamaica that tune into the show, and yet I feel like instead of bringing us closer together, it's actually creating a bigger rift in humanity right now, because you can't say anything on Twitter anymore without somebody getting mad at you about something. Like, Breakbeat can't. Anything he says, any position that he takes, any opinion that he has, like 30 people, guys, seriously, 30 people will sit there and go, Breakbeat, you're the devil. Like, every day.
I know.
Breakbeat Junkie is the devil of the internet.
That's the whole thing with Twitter, though, is that it's a bunch of people from all over the world, different personalities, and that's naturally going to cause some kind of conflict somewhere along the way. Just the way it is.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing, like, the whole kid thing, see, my stance on that, but, I mean, each parent can do what they want, but, I mean, obviously, with the shit going on with me with Twitter, I wouldn't allow it, but my children do not have Twitter accounts. My daughter is 12, and I think you have to be 10, to legally have a Twitter account, but no, I don't know if I will ever allow her on Twitter.
I think that would be great, because then you could name her Daughter of Breakbeat Junkie. Could you imagine? She wouldn't even have to tweet anything, man. She just have to post like, "Hi, I'm here," and then just click retweet for the rest of her life. I think that would be great. So that was...
I think it would be... I think the first day a fucking retarded 19-year-old Klingon would be sending my daughter my news.
You can't say that stuff on the air, man.
They threatened to send them to my mother. I am 30 years old. Oh my God, please hurt me. Please show my mom my boob. She was only in the room when I gave birth to my children, but oh my God, are you going to show her my boob? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was pretty juvenile.
So fucking hysterical, and they think I'm sitting at home crying and raging, and no, it's fucking funny.
See, I didn't find it funny. I was miserable. I didn't know who I could trust. I didn't know what was happening.
I was at first. I was at first. Do not get me wrong. When it all started and I went dark, I was done. I didn't want anything to do with those people, and I think that's why. Because if I would have stayed, I would have still been in it. Yeah. And the people that have never left don't understand what I mean. Yeah. Because then I gave a fuck. Then I was hurt. Mm-hmm. I felt violated.
Yes.
I felt betrayed. I felt all kinds of things, and I just fucking unplugged. Yeah. And then, but after a year off, and just kind of through Bobby, knowing everything that was still going on, and we'll get to that in a minute, what went on with him, but anything that was still going on, and my needs were still being dropped, I wasn't even on there. Yeah. And it was still happening, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, these people have nothing else in their life.
You know what?
I stepped back.
You hit on a really interesting point. You hit on a really interesting point. One of the great things about this is that, yes, technology is bringing us closer together, but it's also bringing people that are really mentally sick together and giving them the power to attack those of us that just want to live like a good life. Right? You, myself, a lot of the girls that tune into the show, we've all, and that we talk to on Twitter, have all been through abusive relationships, and I feel like you said, you felt violated. That's exactly how I felt, because I work with at-risk youth, and so when they were on Twitter telling everybody I was a pedophile and faking all of these screen grabs, it was like, you're taking the one thing that I have in my life that makes me feel worth living for and trying to destroy it. And that was exactly how I felt, was completely violated. And you're right, the people that were on the outside looking in, they don't have a clue. They have no idea how close we all came to just self-destructive behavior, Bobby especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was awful.
Me, I know.
And we're adults.
That's the whole thing. People want to come at him and come at me and say that, pretend like they know me. Nobody on that website, aside from 3 people, probably, maybe a couple more, but are still in my life. That all these people that I have met that did know me knew me for a total of 6 months. Yeah. That's it. And they act like they know every aspect of my entire life. And that cracks me up because I haven't spoken to you in well over a year, but you still think you know what's happening in my life. No. You know nothing. You knew me for 6 months of my life that were not really good. No, I was pretty fucking miserable when you knew me. Probably why I gravitated towards people like you.
Yeah.
But then, Bobby, I met him because of the op, and we became friends. And we probably knew each other online for 6 months before we even knew we were in the same state.
I remember.